Wow. I've had a lot of pastries in Portugal. This has to be the most unique one I've ever had. He gave us some fig jam, homemade from his own figs in the backyard here. It's totally worth it. It is spectacular to be able to see this. You still see tourists wandering through here, even though there are signs that say you're not supposed to be here and it's off limits, but we're here too, so we're breaking the rules. This is a cool spot, man. I mean, who knew that they grew tea in Europe, much less in the Azores? So on a day like this, when it's a little cloudy, a little drizzly, what would be better than have a little bit of tea? Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel channel for foodies. I'm Brent Peterson. I'm an American living in Portugal. Today we're on the island of São Miguel in the Azores. And this is an archipelago about 1,000 miles from Lisbon, about 2,500 miles from Boston. And we're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, where the weather changes quite rapidly. When we got in, it was sunny and bright. Now you can see there's clouds, there's a little drizzle, but they say in the Azores the weather changes very, very quickly. So we'll see how we do today. I wanted to start this video. Today we're gonna go on a road trip around the island. We got a car and we're gonna, drive around and see as much as we possibly can. But I wanted to show you this as we start out. We're staying at an Airbnb in this little village of Santana, where nothing goes on except tractors driving up the road. There's a church here, there's not a grocery store. The only bar in town closed down. We walked down there last night. But it's a really nice, tiny, serene village. And our Airbnb, they totally set us up. So the guy who owns the place asked us, do you want some bread in the morning? And we said, sure. So we woke up and there was a little plastic bag hanging on the front doorknob with some bread in it for our breakfast. And this is common not only here in the Azores, but all over Portugal. You can have bakeries deliver stuff right to your door, bread, and they'll just leave it on the door handle for you. And I don't know, you settle up later, I guess. We see it in our town in Portugal. And then look at what he gave us. He gave us some fig jam, homemade from his own figs in the backyard here. How awesome is that? So let's try this. Bread's pretty crispy, coming out of the toaster. But that fig jam is incredible. I can't believe they just made that and left us for us as a gift. Really nice. All right, so today the plan is to drive around the island and see a bunch of cool stuff. So there's lighthouses, there's thermal baths, there's viewpoints, and there's some cool food and drink that we got to try. So we're going to do that, hop in the car, and make a day of it. This is Chá Porto Formosa, and this is the only certified organic tea plantation in all of Europe. In fact, this is the only place in São Miguel where they actually grow tea commercially in Europe. The only place. I mean, there's tea from India and tea from China. Well, there's tea from São Miguel as well. 100 years ago or so, tea was grown here, but it was strictly grown as a commercial or as a ornamental crop. People liked how it looked, and you can see they put little tea plants, little clippings from tea plants right here on the table. So it does look nice. But in 1920, some Chinese nationals came over, taught the folks here how to grow and produce tea. And that's what they do. They have a tea factory right here. And you can come here and see the plantation. You can walk around. You can see a little 5-minute movie about the making of tea. It's very interesting. And then you walk in here and you get a little sample of tea. This is the broken leaf tea. This comes from a little later of a harvest, so it's a mellower tea, and I really like it. It's good. I think I'm gonna buy a couple of boxes and take home to friends for them to enjoy as well. This is a cool spot, man. I mean, who knew that they grew tea in Europe, much less in the Azores? So on a day like this, when it's a little cloudy, a little drizzly, what would be better than have a little bit of tea? Really good. Hydrangeas are really popular here in the Azores, super popular here in São Miguel. You see them everywhere, and it reminds me of Rhode Island. Back when we had our house in Rhode Island, we had hydrangeas on the property. A lot of my neighbors had hydrangeas, and you'd see them all over Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. But it makes me wonder whether the immigrants who came from the Azores in the 1800s brought hydrangea clippings with them. You know, these hydrangeas are past their peak at this point. You'll see them really popping with color in the spring, but even so, several months later, you still see these nice blues. I saw a couple of red ones as we were walking around. They're literally everywhere. People use them as borders. People use them in forests. People use them in their gardens, of course. You even see them on roadsides. They are literally everywhere here in São Miguel. They're even next to this restaurant and all these empty beer bottles and a parking lot. We're in the village of Salga, and we were just walking back to the car, and we spotted this bakery cooperative. So we had to go in, and they had all kinds of stuff back there. So what we got was this cornbread. It's actually half corn, half wheat. And I asked the lady, could you cut it for me? Because most, you know, bakeries that serve bread in Portugal, they'll have a automatic bread slicer. But no, she came up with a knife, handed it to me, and was like, go at it, kid. So I did. Karen called dibs on the end piece because she always eats the end piece. I'm just gonna have one bite. Is that okay? One bite? One bite. Okay. Wow. So I guess this is where everyone in the village comes to this cooperative to get their bread and stuff. They had about 10 or 12 different breads. This is delicious. And I think we're going to be enjoying this most of the day. Maybe we find some cheese to go with it. We'll see. We made it to Sete Cidades. That translates to the 7 cities. And don't be fooled, there's not 7 cities out here. We're in a very rural part of São Miguel. But the 7 cities refers to an island in the middle of this lake. Or it may have even been 7 islands. No one's sure. And no one's even certain if the island ever existed at all. Doesn't exist today. Other people say the 7 cities refers to the 7 bishops who were fleeing mainland Portugal and coming out here when the Visigoth Empire was falling and the Moors were taking over the Iberian Peninsula, but there's no proof that they made it here. It wasn't until about 800 years later that the Age of Discoveries happened and folks from Portugal, explorers came and found these islands of the Azores, which were uninhabited at the time, and started settling here. So anyway, that's the story of the Sete Cidades, but we are going to go up a little bit higher and see if we can check it out. We're down here at ground level, and it's pretty windy up here, but we go higher, we'll see what it's like up there. I think it's going to be cool, and there's supposed to be amazing views, so let's go check that out. We're at the top of Sete Cidades, and we're in the Monte Palace Hotel. This is a 5-star hotel, or at least it was supposed to be. Ran out of money. This place has been abandoned for years, and you still see tourists wandering through here, even though there are signs that say you're not supposed to be here and it's off limits, but we're here too, so we're breaking the rules. There's rumors that this place was going to be rehab, someone was going to buy it but you walk through here, there's no sign of construction or of any progress whatsoever. It would be spectacular though. I mean, just look behind me, and this is the kind of view that you get from all of these rooms. They all have these gorgeous terraces. Of course, now it's you know, it's abandoned and it's crumbling, and that's probably why they don't allow people in here officially, because you know, it could be dangerous. But we're here, and Karen was just saying when they finish it, we'll come back and maybe we'll stay a night. Well, we made it up to the Miradouro Ray. This is the top of the volcano. And from here you can really see the volcano and how it collapsed into itself and formed these lakes. And I just read a plaque over there. It said not millions of years ago, 36,000 years ago, which is pretty freaking recent if you ask me. And if you look all the way down there, you might be able to see that bridge going between the lake. So that's where we were before. Now we're all the way up on the top, and it only took about 10-15 minutes to drive up here. So it's pretty easy to do, and man, it's totally worth it. It is spectacular to be able to see this. All right, we made it up to the Poco do Inferno. That translates to the mouth of hell, just so you know. And this is the shot that everyone wants. Everyone who comes to the Azores, they come here to get this beautiful shot of the collapsed volcano and the crater and the lake behind it. So stunning view here, and we lucked out with the weather. If you decide to come, it's about a 20-minute hike from the parking lot, and first 15 minutes, super easy, flat, gravel path. But then the last 5 minutes, you got to come up a dirt path, and parts of it, I mean, it's not steep, but it's unsteady enough that people with mobility issues aren't going to make it. But if you can, this is the place you want to come. I mean, look how beautiful this is. Absolutely fantastic, and glad we made the hike because it's totally worth it. This is the pineapple plantation of the Azores, and did you know they grew pineapple in the Azores? I didn't. But the thing about pineapples is the cash crop here used to be oranges. Back in the 18th century, it was all about oranges in the Azores. They made a lot of money growing oranges and shipping them back to Europe. But then a blight came, killed off the orange trees, and they had to figure out something else to do. So they started trying to grow pineapples. The thing is, unlike Hawaii, where you can just have fields and fields and fields and grow as many pineapples as you can possibly want, here the climate isn't quite as warm, isn't quite as consistent. So they were able to grow pineapples, but they have to do so in greenhouses. And you can come here and visit the greenhouses and see the pineapples in their growth. It takes 2 years for a pineapple to reach full maturity and ready for harvest. And you can look in the greenhouses and see them in every stage, from when they start to when they're almost ready to pick. And today there was even one greenhouse that was open, and you can walk through and see those pineapples. And they were getting there. They're almost ready. They're not at the 2-year stage yet, but looked like they had a few more months to go. It's a fascinating, fascinating story of pineapples in the Azores. And then you come to the pineapple bar and you get to try all of this freaking pineapple stuff. Look at all this stuff they make from pineapple. So let's try it. Let's see how it is. First of all, look at this little pineapple boat they give you. It looks like Azorean pineapples are smaller than what you might expect from like a Hawaiian pineapple or something like that. But wow. So what I heard was Azorean pineapples don't have as much acid in them, so you don't get that like roughness on the roof of your mouth. It is sweet, but still delicious. Really, really good. All right, next up. Surely you've heard of the Pastel de Nata. This is a pineapple version of that. Wow. I've had a lot of pastries in Portugal. This has to be the most unique one I've ever had. Pineapple in your de nata. Still a little bit custardy, but wow, that is good. Okay. Now the highlight. This is a caipirinha, which is a famous Brazilian drink. So it's pineapple juice made with local rum that they make here in the Azores. It's pretty strong. Wow, that's good rum, man. That's really good rum. All right. And then the final one. Uh-oh, starting to melt. Pineapple sorbet. You know, I used to make, when I was making gelato, I used to make a pineapple sorbet. I would add in, I think, mango and banana in it. This is pure pineapple. You know what would be good in this? A little bit of rum, I would say, would go nicely with that. Yes. Maybe a little more. There we go. Make my own rum sorbet. That did the trick. You know, there's a couple pineapple plantations here on São Miguel, and you can go visit them and try the pineapple, and totally worth it, because this is spectacularly delicious. So good, so sweet, so juicy. Wow. This is Praia de Santa Barbara, and you know, the Azores is an island, so it's got tons of coastline, but most of it is rocky and volcanic, so it's not perfect for beach going, but there is a sandy beach right here. So if that's what you're looking for, this is the place to come to. It's also a surfer's haven, and conditions aren't perfect today for surfing, but there's a couple of folks out there trying to get up on their boards. But it is windy, so there's some kiteboarders out there, and they're having a great time. And best of all, the weather cooperated. Started out kind of dreary and wet, but now beautiful blue sky, some puffy clouds, and the weather is absolutely perfect for hanging at the beach, having a drink, or maybe going out on the water. This is Poco Azul, and this place was recommended by our pal Rui, so we had to come here. Started off, got some of these olives, and these are big, fat green olives. Really. Briny and meaty, really good. So, what did we get? Karen got this seitan steak with look at these big cloves of garlic in here, and red pepper. Ooh, that was unexpected. That sauce has a kick, man. Karen got a red wine to go with it, house wine. It's tasty, it's good. And a little basket of fries. For me, I got the mushroom stroganoff. Oh man. How do they do that? It is so creamy. I mean, you know, stroganoff usually has like sour cream and stuff in it. I don't know how they do that. Really nice. Maybe they put some, I don't know, vegan yogurt or something in there. But yeah, this is a vegan dish. Wow. I knew Rui wouldn't steer us wrong. To drink, I got this little Azorian craft beer called Corsica. And this is a lager helle. But you can see, usually it's a light golden color lager helle. This is a darker color. A little more flavor to it. Maybe it's just unfiltered, but that's tasty. Really nice. Yeah. Rui sent us to the right place, that's for sure.
That's the Twilight one, right? I never watched it. I do want to watch it to see how bad it is.
Really?
Yeah.
I would watch it with you 100%. we made it on Mindy watching the moon. It's a second episode. And I
Had to do it. So we made it to Ponta Delgada, and this is Ints 48, an artisanal coffee shop with prices to match. We'll end this video here, but it's been a great day, and we'll be doing more stuff here in the Azores. In fact, we'll do a whole video just based on this city of Ponta Delgada. But tell you what we got here. Got a pistachio cookie. Cakey, pistachio, yummy. And then traditional chocolate chip cookie. Maybe traditional in America, not in the Azores. But it's a good cookie. So, I'm glad we're here in Ponta Delgada because we're going to be able to dump the car. If you watch my videos, you know I'm a huge advocate for public transport, and you just can't do it here in the Azores. There's not enough of it. Obviously, there's no train service, and the buses are infrequent at best. The only place I've seen buses here really are tour buses, and there's some buses here in the city. Otherwise, it's just guys waiting around at bus stops, and I've never seen one in the outskirts. So, need a car, but I'm glad to get rid of it. So, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and you can support me at buymeacoffee.com/destination-eat-drink. I'm Brent Peterson. I'm going to enjoy my drink and see you down the road. They do know how to roast their coffee here.